stay warm. You're so afraid of my affections, you could drown in your own storm. There's no need for reservation, no one else can see. After some examination, man, I think that you've got what I need. It's really alright. It's really alright. It's really alright if you don't love me. What's that look of consternation? I'm completely in control. So if you're thinking of evasion, there's something you should know. Well, I wouldn't say I own you, but you're a lover without liberty. Which would you rather face, that cold-hearted landscape or me? What's that look of consternation? I'm completely in control. So if you're thinking of evasion, there's something you should know. Well, I wouldn't say I own you, but you're a lover without liberty. Which would you rather face, a cold-hearted landscape or me?
Okay, darlings, we're back with the air conditioner. And though you can't see it, my skies are very yellow. It looks way later than it is. In fact, the lighting is more like 9 o'clock at night now. And my chest aches. I had to go out today. And we're getting the smoke from the wildfires up north. I think we'll squeeze up some of this water. Hmm. Still has plenty of water. Hmm. I'm not doing what I want. It looks like it's going to pour out there, but it's not. This may or may not work. Um, Way more. Get down. Let's try this again. Smooth side down. A little too much. have music to do this too. You don't be going anywhere but there. Soap. May or may not stick. It's risky trying it, but nothing to lose. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it does, hey, yay. Thank you. Too slippery. Let's do that differently. Not yet. Keep dropping the shoulders. Keep lighting up. No, not quite. Okay. uncooperative. Looks like it's raining. We're not scheduled for rain. No, it's just a haze. The haze is so bad it looks like rain. And tomorrow, expect the same as today. Well, we won't be going out tomorrow either. Yeah, you definitely there. It's felting to itself, but it's not felting to this, which was the chance I took. It's like, oh, maybe it will, maybe it will. Maybe it won't, maybe it won't. Maybe we'll get lucky. And if not, it'll still come out red. I'm not being nice. Now, you don't felt, you don't felt. You do. Wait. Now, this red can only be used with red. It bleeds way too much. You got it good and soaked. Another one to hang up in front of the fans. Luckily, the other one in front of the fans is dry. But we don't need that for tomorrow. Well, we're starting to feel it. Let's see if we can get some of this water out. Although, might be too early to get this rough. I hope not. It might lift off all that extra stuff I just put on. But it does get the water out. Still soaking wet. It feels quite heavy. That's not sticking. You're telling me. Aloha. How's your back? Feels like jelly. Your muscles all weak. Have you had enough electrolytes today? I've never felt like jelly, but I have felt overstretched rubber bands. In this heat, are you nuts? I can't speed it along. You're not God. So you overdid it. You brought it on yourself, and now today you're wasted. See, it doesn't pay. Just pace yourself like other people frequently don't. Want to see my peas? Oh. Okay, this was a teaspoon of seed, 1 teaspoon of seed. Fills the bottom of that after it's been rehydrated overnight. You grow it so the roots dangle in the water. Can you see that? But the water doesn't come all the way up to the plastic where the seeds are sitting, because that's what starts mold. Okay, so see this? This are the tiny speckled peas. Let me show you the green peas. This pathetic batch, these are green peas of the kind that you make soup out of. And as you can see, maybe, we have hardly any of the roots that came out, although we got one that's all the way down to here. We've got others here that seem very confused. Which way do I go? Which way do I go? This one didn't do anything. So, yeah, I gotta deal with those now. Like, God, the other ones, like, bam, bam, bam. Oh, you overdid it. Do you have any ibuprofen? That's a good thing for it. Or Voltaren gel, even better. I know I love science. So, it turns out that those speckled peas, you can get 2 harvests if you fertilize the water in the second harvest. So I do have this special, it's not like special, it is a hydroponic, very easily dissolved 1/4 teaspoon of this powder to a gallon of water. So it goes a long way. And that's for doing second harvest or doing lettuce, where you get the leaves instead of just little greens. Now I've got a whole bunch of beet greens going right now, and instead of collecting them as microgreens, I'm going to let them put out a few leaves and harvest those for salads. They're so good. Now those are in soil because I happen to have 2 pots that were like 3/4 full of soil that I'd sterilized with boiling water to make sure there was no thing in it. What was left over from the celery I was growing in there. So I'll have some greens out of that I don't have to fertilize. These plants are tricky. Which ones? They all have their thing. They all definitely have their thing. Like, when we were deciding what we wanted to put in the garden, I chose the stuff that's hardy through winter, except for one, the lemon thyme. The lemon thyme is going to be harvested in the fall. Well, when it's fall. But around the time it flowers is when you grab it, just before the flowering. So I'll grab that and I'll share it with my friend who has been watering it. But I planted rosemary and echinacea, and they like to get dried out. But both of them will overwinter up here in Zone 6. So Oh, I know. I know they're totally changing things. That's why I'm really glad that I can, not that I'm glad, I really love growing outdoors and I like growing in soil. I also like doing it in coco coir, but indoors, I just don't have the light capacity and I don't have the room. I've got one windowsill there. I don't even know where I'm going to do behind me. I'm going to grow here, but I don't even know what I'm going to be able to do with all of my fancy rocks. And they're gorgeous and I love them and they're full of energy. I don't want to stick them in a box. I've already given away so much of my collection just because of moving so much. But now it's like I'd really like to hold on to these till I croak, but I'm gonna have to move them. Don't worry, darling. I can read your Taiwanese. They're getting used to the weather changes. It's just one more problem on top of what already is a challenge. Gardening is a challenging thing to do. Anybody that's ever tried it knows that. It's challenging enough. And then with the changing weather patterns, yeah. I mean, look at out west. Desert, 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 then 12 inches of rain. It's like, that's how you get those flash floods that are out of nowhere and suddenly your car gets swept away in the middle of the desert while you're camping. It's very weird. Here, it's New England. And the biggest concern, like right now, we've got farmers markets have opened up. We have locally grown produce, so we don't have to fear the way we have to be concerned about all the imports and all the stuff not being properly investigated. Now we have to wash all of our veg, or if we're going to eat it fresh, unless we grow it ourselves, we have to wash it with a 50-50 vinegar and water solution. If we don't do that and really scrub that sticky cyclospora shit off, it's going to be a problem. And see, I would be out there all the time, but I can't be in the sun. So my friend who's also taking care of the garden, she's doing most of the watering. She likes to go out every day. It's like, okay, it's really good for her. She needs to do that. And I do not. I had to tell her to stop watering my stuff because it's getting too much water now. It doesn't need to be watered every day. And we got some really good rain. People keep forgetting they need to go, a couple inches down to see what the real water level is. You can't go by the top inch and a half or so because that dries out right away. You have to go where the roots are. And too much water, you drown them. Then you lose the plant. I went out there to check my echinacea and a couple of lower leads had black spot. It's like, all right, stop watering this plant. It's a prairie plant. It's meant to go dry. No. The hell was he doing around Buffalo? It wasn't one of his, was it? What the hell? No, I understand what you say. No, I didn't see it. I do not know what the circumstances might be. But, oh my God. It doesn't sound good. Did he survive it? That's something that would break me into little teeny pieces. No, I'm sorry. He died? or he survived. Separation there. Sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I still don't see the kind of felting I want to see on this. He lived. Oh, that's good. Yellowstone. Oh, okay. Was he doing something stupid? Or did the buffalo just decide from 100 feet away, I don't like you, man? And because a lot of people that go to Yellowstone, they still act, even though everybody warns them, do not go near any wild animals. They still act like they're tame because they're there. So I'm glad he lived. But usually it's human stupidity that gets them into those situations. They always know better than the wildlife people who work there. You know, another one that's really dumb, but they keep doing it anyway? The running of the bulls. Let's run with the bulls and see which one of us gets gored first. Maybe one of us will die on camera. Imagine all the likes you'll get to that. Humans are stupid. I mean, it's amazing how stupid they are with having so many brilliant humans. The number of just complete dolts is mind-boggling. Just when you think people are catching on to shit, they go and do something especially moronic. It's just astounding. Oh, no kidding. He had a long one? Like a hillbilly beard? Like he was a gnome without the hat? Or like Duck Dynasty with a hunting cap? Think stupid. Well, there's definitely leaving that plastic behind. Hear it? The plastic rattling around inside this. This thing's not felting the way I expect. I don't know what's going on with that. It's not merino wool, and apparently mostly what I've worked with is merino and Quarrydale. And I don't know what the hell this is. It's from China. All I know is that a short staple, which I thought would make it knit even faster. Or felting, just stupid. I don't know. This is supposed to be a gift. She wanted red, 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 red. Hillbilly beard, yeah. Oh God, okay, I can just about see it in my head now. That's satisfying. Did you know that hillbillies actually came from Northern Ireland? And that makes so much sense now because those people seem to get their back all bowed up like, damn. And so do a bunch of those hillbillies. Now, I lived in the very, very rural South, so I'm going to say hillbilly. Well, I'm going to have to look that up because it does sound good. I do like a good laugh. I'm scanning the universe right now for something to laugh at. In our government specifically. No, there's a lot of people just out there afraid. Oh, good. Thank you. Ah, appreciate that. Oh, thank you for the stuff you sent today. I couldn't see it at the time, but when I got out of the doctor's office, I saw it. Usually I'm watching animal videos. Those unlikely friends, you know, and singing to animals and rescuing animals and cute little baby animals. They're so much cuter than humans. My chat just did its own thing. It went right back to the beginning. As if it disconnected me, I guess. Hold on. Oh well. So today is Wednesday. Tomorrow apparently is Thursday. Tomorrow's the big day. I order a new pad. I'm so excited. Oh, yeah, see, it does not want to take. But some do. Hmm. Tomorrow, tomorrow, I love ya. Tomorrow. Yeah, I've never seen that musical. I never liked the comic strip. There were a few of them I didn't like when I was a kid. Any of them that had blank eyes, right out. Like, what was that? Nancy? I can't tell you what it was about because I didn't like the characters, didn't read them. And even though I am a granny clampet with a somewhat more sophisticated vocabulary, I didn't like the hillbilly ones either. I'll tell you, this wool is taking way longer than the merino. And people were saying, oh, merino takes so long to fill. Whatever this is taking way longer. This would have been done by now. I have to get up and walk around for a minute. My butt's falling asleep. Did you send me something? I see a little mark. Yes, you did. Oh God, that is so. That damn fool is too close to that bull. Shit. Yep, see, stupid humans. Running around. That's a pissed off bull. Was he playing hide and seek? Better. Oh my God. Wait a second. The second one. Let me look at that again because it air bites. Wait, okay. I gotta see this. Here he goes. Okay, now it's air bisons coming soon to a Foot Locker near you. Thank you. That's great. Well, you know what Forrest said. Stupid is as stupid does. Exactly. Right? Dumb as a box of rocks. We should start rolling on stupid people. We don't have trolls anymore to worry about. No matter how much I bait my comments. No, I don't do that on purpose, but I'm surprised I don't have more trolls. They must have heard what I do to them. We could roll on that man's intelligence. Let's do it. Since this is going to sit. Roll, roll, roll your boat. All right. Now, I did say he was dumb as a box of rocks. Let's see if that holds true. I should give this a new name. You know what I'm thinking. 6. Smart as a fruity pebble. Oh, that's even worse. And 8 is a rock. 9 is a box of rocks. So he didn't even make it up to that. Dumb as a fruity pebble. Who came up with that one? That was somebody in the room. That wasn't from the original troll chart. So Bison Boy gets that. $10 cities, just like some of your neighbors. You know which ones I'm referring to. Let me hang this up because like it's so wet. So soggy. It's the call of the times. The spy show, Get Smart looks like our future. Right? Well, no, that's where we're at now. They keep fucking up the cone of silence, though. They just go on Signal and broadcast their plans. Get Smart would have had a Maxwell Smart would have had a field day with those people. At least he was a true blue American. I loved Get Smart. Matter of fact, I own the boxed series. Unfortunately, on DVDs, I can't watch for some reason. I can't see any of my DVDs since last December. Something changed. Haven't been able to run any DVD. Not on my tower, not on my laptop with the plug-in. I have an amazing comedy and musical collection, so it ticks me off. Also, actually, the only reason I am currently still subscribed to Netflix. First of all, I do believe in I like Netflix. I think they're supporting a lot of good artists. I like to see that. But mostly because of Wednesday. That was the best series that they put out. That and Is It Cake with Mikey Day. Absolutely top shelf. Hilarious. What? Wednesday was like their top attraction on Netflix. And I'm just waiting for season 3. And I'll start all over, watch them all again, and end up with season 3. Of course, it's brilliant. It's Tim Burton, who can be a little weird, but it's also brilliant. I loved his Corpse Bride, which was also a little weird, but brilliant. Nightmare Before Christmas, definitely weird, but definitely brilliant. So he's been the one doing, I don't know if he's just doing the writing or the producing and writing. Anyway, he's very heavily involved. Wonderful, wonderful cast. So because of waiting for season 3, I'm still there. But Is It Cake with Saturday Night Live's Mikey Day as the host. It's one of the best shows they put together. It's so full of love. It's so funny and just so full of love. And everybody supports each other, even though they're competing against each other. And it's just full of love. I love that show. And they had to call in a bunch of favors to start with to get people to be judges on the show. Like, come on, please be a judge. It's a new show. We're not getting much yet. And then suddenly now everybody wants to get on that show as a judge. I can't blame them. I would love to not necessarily be a judge, but I would love to be there to try all those cakes. Now, I have overall done very well in picking the competitors with the manufactured, but I've also had the advantage of the home view where you get close-ups, but when you're there to choose, you're back. Like, it looks like they're back at least 10 feet away from the objects they're trying to identify. And with my eyes, yeah, I would not do well. Now, the only thing I found worthwhile, aside from the movies I already own on Prime, Amazon, I quit them, but I have movies that are housed there, so I'm kind of stuck having to go to the site, but I don't have to buy anything. Their series that had me completely in love was Good Omens, but they pretty much fucked up the final part because Neil Gaiman couldn't keep his dick in his pants. Another one bites the dust. Great artist, great writer. So they fired him, and he was like the number one for doing this. They turned 6 episodes into 1.5 hours. So 1.5 episodes to sum the entire third part, and so much was lost. I mean, the ending was fine because the ending was, well, it wasn't completely fine. They made it make sense, but it was not completely fine. I was happy for the boys, but the idea that the entire world needs to start over from scratch in order to make sane changes in attitudes and policies, I don't think it's necessary to completely annihilate the planet. Although I understand the tide of stupidity is really like a tidal wave, and trying to overcome that with common sense on some days seems impossible. As always, we put our hope with the next generations. Please, kids, save us, because we've been too stupid to do it ourselves. This time I think it's not so much just like stupid, although they've been intentionally dumbing down as many people as they could the last 40 years. In fact, if you're under 40, I feel sorry for you. You don't know what a good education system looks like. You were born into the let's fuck over education and make them stupid until they'll follow whatever we tell them to do, and they'll believe us no matter how absurd the lies. And they got it. Look at our president. You've got to be pretty dumb to go after that man. I mean, to follow him. He's committed so many international crimes, he's trying to disassemble the International Crime Court. So it can't hold people like him and Putin and all the bad guys, all the dictators. Can't hold them to account for the murders that they've committed. What a piece of trash. But don't worry. People think that the reckoning will just never come. They have no idea what's coming because they think it isn't coming. They're very secure in their fallacies. So what do? We recreate our worlds. But you have to recreate yours and I have to recreate mine. They're not identical. But that's a very complex subject. That's why I'm writing a book about it. Well, the book is No Matters 3, but it is about lifelines and all that. Timelines, lifelines, paths chosen and not chosen. And tomorrow I ordered the tools I need for that project. Although after today's appointment, I'm starting to feel like I better get down to business. I could be running out of time faster than imagined. Okay, it's starting to look a little bit more solid. You know, I should try a DVD now that I've had a million downloads from Windows updates. Maybe one of them will suddenly work. There's this silly romantic comedy that I saw many, many years ago. I ended up with a copy of it somehow. I think somebody sent it to me because I didn't know anything about it and really did not relate to the artists too much because I didn't know too much of their work. But I like the scenes. I like the ambiance of that movie. And then I didn't see it again all these years. And then I wanted to watch it. It's like, oh, I have it on a DVD or a tape or something, but can't see that. So I looked and I found a copy of it to buy it, a DVD really inexpensively on eBay. So I bought it. And it just came in an envelope. That's how cheap it was. But it was the real printed thing and it had the same problem. Nothing is working. Oh, well, you're seeing it right now. It's on all different levels. See, that's the thing. The tactic they're taking is attack on so many fronts that it keeps us busy. So they can do stupid things like wasting their time and our tax money to argue and set a law about daylight savings time. Like that's important compared to, oh, I don't know, food, medicine, housing. You know, I can think of at least 6 different things that are more important than freaking daylight savings time. So the revolution has already started. You're seeing it through real action. You're seeing it with people like New York's Mayor Mamdani. Mayor Mamdani is doing amazing things for the city, and it's scalable. What he is doing there can be done everywhere in this country if the country will go along with it. Now, the people of the country will definitely like what he's doing. If when they're seeing it in their real life instead of hearing it on Fox fake news, They love what he's doing. And the news is pretending, oh no, it's horrible. We're all going to move out. It's like, no, they're not. No, they're not. It's making the city better and safer, and it's preventing things from falling into disrepair. So why would they want to move out of that and spend millions of dollars to relocate? Instead, they're spending millions of dollars campaigning against anybody who wants to be like him, because he's making sure their regulations favor the working class instead of sucking them dry. And so the revolution has already begun, my friend. It has begun on the very practical level of people starting to recognize who the real enemy is. It's not immigrants. It's not people of color. It's the ultra rich who are pulling all our strings, screwing up with our food supplies, our water supplies, stealing our water supplies for data centers. No. The enemy is within. It's the corporate, out of control corporate world. It is the stock market, which only exists for rich people. So yeah, there's a lot of bogus things going on. And the smart people, thank God there still are some, the smart people are busy educating more people about what's going on. And they are actively pursuing every which way they can, support of democracy, support of workers, support of poor people who are getting screwed over. I mean, look, let's face it. You can own a house today. You only have to miss 2 payments of your mortgage, and you could be looking at being homeless. After 20 years in a house, but foolishly a 30-year mortgage, they can take your house and you end up on the street living in your car. I know. I know. Look what, right now Musk is poisoning Black people with his XAI centers that are full of unpermitted generators, sucking the natural gas right out of the place, the water. And the mayors are just going, oh, well, like one place was, someone died and left something like, I don't know, a bunch of acres, 87 acres, something like that, for a public place, for like parks. And they left it for like $10, and then it was sold for $10 million to a data center, and then the mayor ran out of town. He wasn't there for the town meeting. He said, how did you do this? We did not approve this. How did you get away? Where did you sell this trust? So this dead person's will is not being recognized. You just went and sold that property that was supposed to belong to the town to a data center, poisoning the air, using their water, driving up their power bills, putting too many strains on their power grids. And here's the stupid part. Not like that is like ultimate stupid, because they're breaking every environmental protection ever put in place, even the ones undone. They are doing this without any kind of studies. They spend more money and time analyzing if they're safe to put in a basketball court than they do to put in an AI center. So these things are going to fall, and they're already failing. They're not making money. They're spending mucho bucks to put them up and bulldoze over people's wishes and steal their properties and ruin their property value with the plans of buying up more. But they're not profiting. Grok is not making money. OpenAI is not making money. ChatGPT is losing money. This is not the way to go forward into the future. They're just trying to hurry it up before Trump dies and before sane people take over again. They're just overlooking the fact that once the crazies are no longer in power, the smart and sane ones are going after all these assholes that did this in the dark of night. So it's going to become very clear on a very visceral level. When you realize how hungry you are or how sick you are of being sick because they're not watching the food supply because they fired all the people doing the inspections or making sure the inspections get done. Well, that's what happens when you put uneducated jerks who profit off these losses. You put them in power. So they will be removed from power, and some of them will be deeply punished. Right now, Musk is potentially going to be going to jail for bribery in an election, and that's just in one state. Pennsylvania's got some things to say too. Yes, 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 yes. It's kind of like Blazing Saddles without the laughs. Now, back on a good note, Mel is 100. He made it to 100. He got to do his musicals. Now, that's what he always wanted to do. And he's doing it. I can't wait to see Spaceballs 2. Oh, yes, there will be. Oh, yes. Do you want to see them get away with it? Or would you like to see them pay? I would like to see them pay. And I can imagine it. There's already plans in the spirit for Musk. And Trump. And everybody working with him. And Roger Stone. And is it Nigel Farage? Or whatever his name is. There's a lot of bad people out there right now, but don't worry. They're part of the plan. They're all part of the plan. Not the plan they think, but they're part of the plan. Yes, that has been the past, but we don't base the future on the past, or the future doesn't change. You have to see a different future. Okay, here's a little exercise. Think of one person, just one. It's hard to focus on that. Just one per person. I want you to think of that one person you know as a bad person and deserves some kind of comeuppance. Just focus on that one person for a second. Close your eyes. See him in your mind's eye. Now, imagine what's the first punishment for them? Or not by you or even by the law. Karma, okay? I want you to imagine the first karmic act that will do something about their evil ways or their personage. And if it doesn't make you smile, it doesn't feel good, think of the next one. What's another thing that could happen to that person? And wait for it. Wait for the feeling. When you get that feeling that makes you kind of like, you got it. Now, you know how I tell you we can't predict the future? That's only partially true. The reason I was a successful psychic was because I recognized patterns. I'm really good with people patterns. Sit there and talk for a half an hour with somebody, ask a few questions, and you got their pattern. And the thing is that people do not like change. People, even if the pattern is bad and they recognize it, they have a hard time changing it. That's why so many people have a hard time changing their diets or changing their smoking or exercising every day, whatever. It's hard to change. We don't like change. Humans do not like change. So a lot of these people that are doing bad things are not going to change. All right, unless something crazy happens, like Barry Goldwater. Remember him? You're still old enough to remember him, right? Racist motherfucker. Okay, really bad man. And then there was an assassination attempt that landed him in a wheelchair. And he had a black nurse. Well, that man was a changed man. He finally realized that black people are just people just like everybody else, and the melatonin in the skin does not make them stupider or smarter or better or worse. And Barry Goldwater, biggest racist, white hat wearing piece of crap, changed his tune big time. It does happen. Not that anybody would have ever predicted that. But it doesn't have to be that drastic. And a lot of times it can be drastic and nobody will change their mind. Look at all the people who died during COVID, refusing treatment and also refusing to believe that they were dying of COVID because Fox told them they weren't. Okay? They were intubated and still would not believe that they were sick with COVID. And they died. They freaking died. So they didn't learn, but then they croaked and, you start over. It's true that all this time, that's why people want money, power. They get away with shit. But this time it's different. And you know why? Because the Epstein class has been exposed. And now we have a Trump government who has refused to investigate. They have flat out stonewalled the investigation into Trump. Why? Because it'll hurt Trump's friends. So we know there's scumbags in that file like crazy. The thing is, as much as people want to point fingers at each other and divide each other by politics, bottom line is most people are decent people. And most people do not like what they are hearing coming out of those files. They don't like it. And it's gotten the majority of this country up in arms about it. And that is underlying everything. If you let yourself be influenced by other people, then you've got to pull away from it because other people have no bearing on you other than what you accept. It's like Eleanor Roosevelt said, nobody can make you feel inferior without your permission. You can't absorb people's negativity unless you tune into it. You have to tune out of it. You have to tune to higher vibrations. That's your fault. So don't blame other people because you've attracted them from your own negativity. If you want to attract better, you have to change. That's all everybody's responsibility is. You're the one that's got to change your vibration. You're the transmitter, you're the receiver. Which station do you want to pick up? The crappy ones with all the static and commercials, or do you want to pick up on something a little higher vibe? Something omish, something calming, something enlightening, something uplifting, something joyful. You can't get there. You can't listen to two radio stations on the same radio at the same time, right? You can't listen to AM and FM at the same time. You flip that switch. You're listening to AM people. It's time for you to tune into FM. So if your faith is damaged, you've allowed that to happen. And I don't believe that anyway. I don't believe that. Do you still pray? You still talk to God? Still play gospel? If you pray, then you have faith. Otherwise, why are you praying? Avoid? You know you can't get away with anything like that with me, Melanie. I've known you too long. And you've heard me speaking on this for too long. It is always our responsibility to point our antenna toward happiness. And if we fail that, we fail nobody but ourselves. Your negative people around you, you think they give a shit about you and your attitude? All they want is a compatible vibration. So when they're vibing at that low rate and you match it, yeah, you matched it. You fit. You don't want to fit in with them, stay away from them. Don't think about them. Think about things that are higher, that make you feel uplifted, that make you smile. You just went to a birthday party for someone who's what, 87 years old? Didn't you have a good time? Weren't you around people you liked? Believe me, when I bump into anybody that's a downer or negative, I have to look at me and go, oh, what was I thinking about today? Where was I at? I don't blame them because it's not them. They have their vibration. It's not their fault if I tune into it. It's mine. The very person I'm making this little purse for, so you believe in God. That is faith. How is your faith gone? You were told, you felt it, you heard it in your own spirit, the connection. If you want to get grounded, you need to pray. That's your background. All right? That's your background. That's your training. That's where the momentum is. You're not going to suddenly become an atheist. Hello. Oh, I love your name. Hello, darling. Now, see, we just attracted a wonderful vibration. When the person who is going to get this first moved into this building, well, her damage, her own damages were right out there. She's since calmed down a bit. But I found her so totally abrasive and offensive. I did not want anything to do with her. Oh, she just imposed herself into every circle, but nobody liked her. She did really crazy, disgusting things. And we were all about like, ugh. And then I realized, well, what am I doing? I don't want to bump into her because she's so unpleasant. But if I think about her and go, ooh, I don't want to bump into her, I'm going to bump into her. And that's exactly what happens when you think about somebody and you feel something about it. That is the vibration that is doing the attracting. There's no rejection. It's always attraction. So I changed it. I went, oh, I don't think about her anymore. I don't have to think about her. And I just got to push that energy away on the outer perimeter, knowing that she lives in the building. But that doesn't mean I have to bump into her. Well, then she had some kind of an epiphany on her own, and her vibration changed. And the next time I saw her, her whole energy was changed. She was lighter. She was smiling. That was like, all right. Oh, I understand. Well, I like this one. It's very good for a writer. Isn't it a drag that women have to think that way? For now. The world right now is trying to find equilibrium, and it will. It's just that during these changes, it's very frequently tumultuous. But no matter how crazy it gets, again, you have to think about where's your energy, just like this woman. If you don't want to see it, stop giving it your attention, because your attention brings it into focus, and your focus is what makes it even more real. Everything is vibration. By that definition, everything is an illusion to a certain degree. Is it actually? Yes, we're solid, three-dimensional, but when you know what we're composed of, you realize that we're more space than matter. Physically, that's our reality. We are more space than physical matter. We have enough matter to hold together and do things. We have enough matter, so yeah, we can break here, but we can also create here. So yes, I know, and I agree, and it's been like that my entire life. But you don't recognize that, and I think this is a big problem with young women. Um, let's say, first of all, women are very social, and men do not have the same kind of social attitudes. They have their bros, maybe, but lately it seems like men are always lonely because they're assholes, and they don't talk, and they don't reach out, and they don't want to know what women are about, which are just people, but they keep putting things on them because of all the sexual innuendo and the sexual expectations, and become sexual. They can't see past their own dicks. And when it's like that, yeah, you can't talk to those people. But young women don't see that yet. All right. When I was a young woman, and I see lots of other women who were like, I can relate to, even though, different ages now. When I was a young woman, I saw myself as an independent person. I knew I was a woman, obviously, but I didn't think of myself as woman. I was more like person, and I'm doing things, and I just want to be treated like another person. And it was really hard because men always tried to bring it to a sexual meeting. And no matter what you said, they found a sexual way of interpreting it. And yeah, they get freaking creepy and slimy. And you have to, at first you're like, I don't believe it. We're just talking. Because I spoke to lots of guys my age that just like normal human beings until they get in a group. And when you get three of those guys who by themselves all talked like human beings and you enjoyed yourself with them, when they're together, suddenly they are assholes and a danger. And it's like, How did this happen? How did you just go from being a nice guy to an asshole? How did that happen? And you know what? I don't understand it still. I don't get in those situations anymore. And the thing is, I understand, you know what? Okay, I can understand why a woman would feel safer in a burqa. On the other hand, she shouldn't be forced to do that because the men have not learned to control themselves. Yes, yes, exactly. Or we're the bad guys. The women are the evil ones. We're the crazy ones. And it's not like they're trying to understand us or talk with us. So they don't understand. We just want to be treated like everybody else, like a guy, without it having to become, a pissing contest. How far can you pee in the snow? No, women are not likely to do that. At least not straight women. But yeah, it's like, where is all of this coming from? Well, it's old. It's old. It's dumb. It's been encouraged. And by the way, it's only been encouraged, originally encouraged by the Spanish and white people, white men, obviously. But then women got taught you're dependent on men. You need to be dependent on men. And they made us so afraid we did. We had to become more dependent. But we were dependent on them for protection. Well, this is not filtering correctly. Oh boy. Now, I know. I know it's never going to do anything. You're forced to wear, well, I can understand wearing it to just hide, but yeah, you don't hide from their eyes. They're still staring at you. They're still grabbing. They're still being juvenile assholes. And they think we're the problem. Oh, you shouldn't have boobs. That's there for feeding babies. What's your problem? You want to sexualize them? That is your problem. Well, see, I do understand that because I tried the same thing. Not a burqa, not here. When I was a waitress, which was my first job, actually my first job was working in a bakery, but my first job on my own as a single woman was a waitress. And getting grabbed and pinched was a daily issue. And nobody defended me. It was always, you're on your own. Oh, just tell him to stop. I said, you're the manager. You tell him to stop. But he's a man. Oh, he's just a man. It's like, fuck that shit. I'm just a woman. Why are you letting this happen? Well, see, that's because, Doc, that is a defensive reaction of women. I used to wear a fake wedding band when I was a musician because of everybody coming on to me. And you don't have to be a beauty. I am not a great beauty, but I was on stage a lot. And just from being on stage, people, well, they drink and they watch you and then they get their imaginations going and then you got to deal with it. So yes, a lot of women are going to say that right off the bat. You say, hi, they say, I've got a boyfriend or I'm married. And that is their self-defense. That's all they got. But don't stop saying good morning. Don't let that stop you from saying good morning. You say, I know, I'm just saying good morning. Now you're on an island where you definitely have some different kinds of attitudes than we have on the mainland. Probably because limited population on islands. Yeah, yeah. It's a protective mechanism. We pretend we're married even when we aren't, because it didn't change how it was when we were married. I mean, I've been married twice. It didn't stop men from hitting on me. It's like, do you see this ring? And thank you. And yes, it's saying good morning is always a welcome thing. But if we are, especially by the way, Doc, if we feel attracted, you're a good looking man. I don't know how you feel about yourself these days, but I know you're a good looking man because I've seen pictures of you. And I know if you say good morning, there might be some women that think he's cute, but I'm married. He's cute, but I've got a boyfriend. You know, it's like, oh, I hope he didn't think I was staring at him because I thought he was cute. Can't say that. Well, if you don't feel up to it, then don't do it. Again, it's a matter of your feelings. If you're not feeling good, you're not going to attract good. It's your feelings that are doing the attracting. That's why I say check in with how you're feeling. Don't let the news get to you. Don't let stupid neighbors get to you. You can't let them, you can't let anybody outside of you dictate how you feel. Yes, we will frequently reflect our surroundings or the news, but you've got to teach yourself to take yourself out of that downward emotion and focus on something better for your sake. Nothing to do with anyone else, but for your sake, for your heart, for your physical well-being, for your mental health. It's up to you. You keep associating with the negative, keep going back there, keep saying, you know, it's like, look, there is real depression, and that is something that happens in the brain. Not everybody suffers from depression, even when we have bad days. I have only had depression in episodes following like a death in the family or a move away from everything I know. And then I got depressed, but then I recovered because I don't suffer from the brain kind of a depression. I don't need any chemicals to help suppress or elevate anything in the brain. But some people don't have that luxury. Some people have serious depression. And like I've got a few friends that are, what do they call it, medication resistant. Basically, they've tried everything and nothing helps. So they're still looking for different therapies that will help the depression, because when it's that kind of a depression, just talking to a therapist is not going to fix you. For a drawing class, I stopped going. The assumption is killing you. Assumption of what? Assuming that you're going to hit on them. I mean, half the people that go to drawing classes, aren't they men? Well, they're testing things right now. One of the things that they're looking into, because it has a very unusual mechanism, is ketamine. Ketamine has done some really interesting things for people who have that kind of depression. It retrains the brain, but because it's the neuroplasticity of the brain, but it wears off after several days or something like that. So you have to have the therapy again. Apparently, it's not like a highly intoxicating dose. They're working with microdoses. I just watched a TED talk on it today, in fact. You might want to look that up. Depression is a big subject on TED Talks. Hold on, let me see. Let me look at my YouTube history. Doc, you sent a photo. Let me wait a minute. I'm trying to find where's my channel? Go home, go to me. Oh, I didn't watch it on my phone. I'm sorry. You might want to do a check. It is TED Talks. A young girl. Yeah. It's the mythologies. It's the bullshit that people pass around that make people afraid of just other people. Again, that is not your fault. But continuing to not meet up with people more on your wavelength is your fault. You are meeting people on your wavelength, but you're not questioning your wavelength enough. Why am I attracting this person today? What was I thinking about? What was I just mulling over? You have to check your own vibes, check in on you, because you're the dictator of this dream, for your dream. Why do you think you're in Maui and I'm in Connecticut? I have Connecticut vibes. I wanted to return to Connecticut for years. The entire decade I spent in California, I wanted to come back to Connecticut. All right, 10 years of focusing on coming back here. Not necessarily right where I'm at now. Oh. You mean she was flirting with you? She assumed that you were coming on to her, or she assumed you were attracted to her? What was this exactly? I know about assumptions. We do that all the time. It's like a bad idea to assume everybody that comes near you is a bad person, or all men are evil. It's not true any more than all women are crazy. Not true. Are there crazy women? Yes, there's also crazy men. Are there stupid women? Yes, there's also stupid men. I mean, come on, it's not a sexual thing. It's just that when sex enters the picture, or attraction enters the picture, people get dumb. And they do make a lot of assumptions. Why do you think the psychic industry is a multi-billion-dollar-a-year industry? You know how many calls I used to get asking if this was the one, is this the one, is this the one? Well, I had one date with this guy and he was so cute and I really liked him, but he hasn't returned my texts. It's been 5 days and he hasn't contacted me. Do you think he's the one? Really? You needed to call me to ask that? And men were just as bad. I had just as many men calling me to find out if she was the one over the same little teeny bits of hints. It's like, did you ask her out? Well, no. My dreams took a left at Albuquerque. Oh, that's funny. My cousin moved there from California. Albuquerque. Mine was at Niagara Falls. I jest. It's weird. You're only careful at first. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't usually go on for as long as a year. But I noticed the thing with time. It can go on for quite a long time. It depends on how frequently you interact on a superficial level. Because until you actually go out on an actual date and spend some time together, even that may not tell you everything you need to know. That's why I'm not a person who encourages long distance love affairs. Oh, I see. Assuming you only visit because of her. Well, that sounds like she was a bit of a narcissist, huh? And she can control you. She attracts you. You only go there because she's working there. Yeah, that's her problem for sure. But generally, yeah, I agree with Manal. We're not overly cautious that long, but there is such a thing as getting to know somebody finally well enough where you realize, oh, it's not going to go as deep as I thought it was. It felt like it, but then the reality was it's just too far apart one way or another. Well, the thing is, Maui, how long do you spend at the 7-Eleven? You go in, you buy some stuff, and you leave, right? So whatever head games she's doing with herself, she's only going to have so much time to interact with you. And I'm going to guess that if she did that with you, she probably did it with someone else as well. Because the world floated around her and not the other way around. Yeah, maybe she was interested in you. Did not know how to express it. I get a lot of those too. I did. Listen, it did not bother me to give up doing readings of that nature because it was so superficial. Well, that might have been why she was doing that. You did not pick up on her. You did not go out of your way to see her. So she made it all up in her little head. People, just because they're people, oh, everyone's got shit, right? Everyone's got their challenges, everyone's got their problems. But what do you want to focus on? Again, the world is going to form itself around you. You attract your synchronicities. You're creating your synchronicities. What do you want to attract? I have never flirted with anybody for a year. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Casual flirtation with smiles and hellos, that's just a normal human thing. And it doesn't mean anything other than you feel friendly about that person. It doesn't mean you want to initiate anything. I'm like that with our maintenance guys. They're married, and I definitely don't want them. But there's always, with smiles and how are you? And when I bake something, I always make sure they get something to eat. At midnight, yeah, lonely girl. Instead of being out on a date or home with a lover, she's working at a 7-Eleven. A lot of these young people are just hoping for love. They're just hoping it's going to walk in and they're going to go, boing, that's it, it's love. It's like, no, when that happens, it's just sexual attraction, it's chemistry. It does not have anything to do with how long that relationship might last. ever it got off the ground. But oh, the angst. Young people. But as Manal noted, while you were at a safe distance on the other side of the counter, Maui, where she could fantasize all she wanted and nothing was going to happen. Because I'm sure on some level she realized you were not interested in her. I'm not good on the hint. Oh, yeah. Well, they said it takes an average of 30 hints before you pick up on the fact that someone's attracted to you and trying to get your attention. We are not so great at communication, nonverbal communication as we think. That's why there's so many websites trying to sell people how to date women, how to date men. Because humans don't trust themselves. I have passed by a few hints that I should have picked up on, and I can totally blame the amount of alcohol that I had imbibed at the time. Having drinks makes you notoriously dim and gregarious, unless you're a mean drunk. I'm always a very happy person. 70, huh? Don't you see? Don't you see that? No. Well, it might be that you're not interested in that person. Even they're hinting, but you're not picking up on it because you have zero attraction to it. Now, this is not felting at all. Well, no, I should say it's felting, but it's not felting with the silk and the gold. That's distressing. I'm going to have to pull it. We're going to end up losing it. Look at that. That is a first. Wow. That is so unfelted. I can pull this off the gold anyway, and I can reuse this. That's terrible. Oh, after all the plucking of those silk strands too. That's disappointing. I'm gonna have to just come up with another idea. Although, like I said, she wanted this to be red, 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 just plain red. Well, I'm afraid that's what she's getting, plain red. How sad. Well, that was a lot of work for nothing. I mean, it's still happening. That is the weirdest thing, though. I've not done that before. So I have a feeling I'm going to be doing some needle felting to add a little embellishment. We're going to reserve this, let it dry. How the sky looks so eerie. It's yellow because of the smoke coming down from Canada. It looks weird. I am luckier than you, Manal. I am at a place in my life right now that I already know I'm not going to be around for all that long. So the last thing I want is a serious relationship, because I gotta be careful with those scissors. I've cut myself before with that. It takes so much energy to have a relationship. Oh no. Yeah, that's dumb. How old were you when that happened? '16. Oh yeah. Ah, that's a terrible age. They're nasty little bitches. Horny and nasty and looking for trouble. They're the ones you gotta run away from as fast as you can. They're the ones that get you in trouble. I hate to hear you're suicidal. Well, that is not okay. But being in a relationship is something that takes a lot of energy, which is the bottom line for me. I don't want to spend that much energy on other people now. I mean, I give plenty of energy to people, obviously, but I don't want, when you go out with somebody and you like them, you want to see more of them. That's natural because you like them. But if you really like them a lot, it starts taking up a lot of your time, which is the one thing you can't get back. So I would rather spend my time here with you guys, doing my arts, doing my writing, playing my games, cooking and eating, and even doing the laundry. I would rather do that than find myself with the same person every day going out. Yeah, it's a lot of energy. You are giving yourself to a person and they have to feed you back with their energy. But the thing is, it takes time to get to know somebody. It's not, you have the initial rushes and it's all exciting and it's all hormonal, and that happens at every age, by the way. So you can be old and, um, listen, there are people who get married at 90. I don't know why, but it's love. Um, if I lived to be 90, which would be the first miracle, yeah, maybe then I'd be interested. No, I don't think so. I just, it's not that I don't like partners because I was happily married. I mean, both times I loved my husbands until, well, the second one became an asshole. But my first marriage, we didn't divorce because we were fighting. We divorced because we realized after 7 years together that we both had very different ideas about what we wanted to do in our futures. He wanted a child, and I could not give him one. And I wasn't going to hold him back from that dream. It was like, well, I can't give you a child, so we're going to have to get divorced. You need to meet a woman who can give you a kid. I need to meet a guy who doesn't want any. And that's what we got, both. I got a guy who wanted nothing to do with children, and he found a woman and she gave him a beautiful daughter. And that's it. You see, that when you meet up with somebody, I liked how you said that, Doc, because if you'll find that match for a month, a year, or 40 years, they're not forever. And when we start saying, "Till death do you part," I think that's a mistake. We get our heads geared for a lifetime with another person. That's a commitment. That's not just falling in love. That's a commitment to work through the hard times. I was willing to do that with Glenn, but I found that he wasn't capable of working through things because he was a narcissist, and no matter what happened, it was always somebody else's fault. It was my fault, the dog's fault, the landlord's fault, the law's fault, the job's fault. It was always somebody else's fault. You can't have a relationship when people don't accept responsibility for their own participation in it. But you can have a wonderful, miraculous relationship that only lasts 2 weeks. And if you recognize how awesome it is for that 2 weeks and then just let it go, you're going to be great. But if you try to hold on to something past its life expectancy, it's like trying to hold a dead butterfly in your hand. Fly, fly. It's not going to fly. You did. Not all relationships are going to last a lifetime. So if you're going to get involved with somebody, take it moment by moment, get to know them. And if you find along the way that you really aren't on the same path, then end it or resolve it in some way that's going to be pleasing to you and leave yourself free so you can meet the right person. But there can be many right people in your life, not just one. Both my husbands were the right person at the right time. I got something out of both of those relationships. I learned a lot about people and marriage and myself. I learned a lot about a lot of different things being married to those two very different kinds of guys. The only thing they had in common that they were both athletic. Aside from that, they were not at all. Oh, well, I guess both of them liked weed back in the day, but enjoy the relationships for what they are instead of trying to make them into something that they may never have to be. That's why I let people know, like, hey, you want to go out for coffee? I'm good with that. But if you want to go beyond coffee and beyond a lunch, I might not be into that. So it's that romantic ideal of a lifetime with one person. I think that really puts people on the wrong path right from the start, because they have to make it religious. It's a biblical thing. You swear before God that you will stay with this one person for better or worse, and that for better or worse never works out well for the woman. For better or for worse. What do you mean by that? You mean if he beats me, I should stay with him? I don't think so. If he cheats on me, I should stay with him? I don't think so. So, yeah, how I see relationships these days is way different from what I did when I was young and younger. I mean, I realize, aside from my health, I'm not that old. I'm only 72 and a half. But it's and I have seen people way older than me getting together with other people, getting married, blah blah blah, and it's like, and then I talk to them and I realize they never saw anything better for themselves. They don't do anything on their own. They're not able to entertain themselves. They have virtually no creativity that they're expressing. So I can see why they have to match up with somebody else, because those are the people that are still waiting for their happiness to come from other people. And happiness is always, ultimately, an inside job. You can be with the best person on the planet, but if you don't have it here, it doesn't matter. They may as well be a plastic dummy. But what kinds of things you question? I mean, we only get a very brief time here. We come back all the time, but each visit is generally under 100 years. And then we start over. And all of the knowledge and all the things that we did is part of our vortex, part of who we are. But we don't bring that back the next time we visit. We come back like not exactly a blank slate. It's not like that, but we come here knowing we're going to be leaving. We come here knowing it's temporary. We come here knowing we're just extensions of ourselves, and just teeny extensions of ourselves. We take it ourselves far too seriously because we're human. And humans, and our biggest battle is with the human brain. Now, the reason reincarnation has always been put down by religion is the fear that when life gets hard, people will take themselves out. It's a reasonable assumption. I tried when I was 12. Lots of teenagers try to take themselves off the planet, usually before they're 16. I think it often matches up with when they start puberty and they start going a little crazy. You know, they don't have any understanding of what's going on, or you're in a culture that doesn't know what's going on. But they bring it to religion. It's like, no, there's no such thing as reincarnation. You have to earn your place into heaven. And the idea is to keep you on the planet. But it can't keep you on the planet forever because we're not meant to be here forever. We evolve our ideas, evolve the way we handle things. This is supposed to be fun here. It's supposed to be an adventure. But we take it too seriously. And we listen to too many other people about what it's supposed to be. And that's when we're trained out of hearing our inner selves talking, we are no longer hearing the truth. Truth comes from within. Instructions on what to do to please other people come from out. You'll make me happy if you do this. You'll be accepted by the group if you do that. You must do this or we will not accept you. We will not love you. We will not like you. We won't play with you. Well, it's a world. But how your world is for you depends on you more than anything else. We came here in this specific timeline already knowing certain things were in motion because from our perspective, our greater perspective, we can see the momentum. But we have been here coming and going since the first drop of matter on this planet. The first day this planet was a planet. We have been evolving cell by cell, creature by creature. We have been part of that, all of it. It's all part of our history, a collective. So when people are suicidal, of course, I'm not going to encourage you to take yourself off the planet because you'll regret it when you go home. No, you're not punished. There's no punishment for that. And so that's not what you should be concerned about. Like if I take myself off the planet, God will hate me, God will send me to hell, or I'll have some kind of purgatory or punishment. That's not what happens. There's nothing but love and compassion. Only humans have all the judgmental stuff. The thing is that you'll feel bad for yourself that you wasted that chance to be here and make changes in the world and to explore different things about your own personality. It's not a punishment. And being here is not a punishment, even though sometimes it feels like it. Because it's a big world. It's confusing. At the same time, it's a very tiny world and we're connected. It's kind of like you can see the entire universe in a grain of sand, right? But not if you don't have the eyes to see it. Now, Manal, it must be very late for you. Very late. We need to sing you a lullaby. So, as a creator of your experience, which when you're down, you can't really hear that. You hear my words, but you don't really feel it. because you're not in a position vibrationally to hear it. But even with that, you know that you're going to lay your head down and go to sleep tonight or in a little while. And when you do, just before you fall asleep, the door will open between you and your higher self. And that's when you have to say, okay, I want tomorrow to be better than today. So what would that look like? What is one thing that you could see that would make you feel better tomorrow? Example, this is what I do. You know, I'm always talking about subconscious doorway, which is most open as you are waking up and as you're falling asleep. There's that brief little period that you can just lay there still and float a little bit before you're like remembering yesterday. But it's easier to get there if you program yourself every night so that when you wake up in a good place or a better place. So what would you say? When I am there at night, I'll go, right. First of all, my number one rule is no news before bed. All right. I play games and I play stupid, like Bubble Pop or something really repetitious that's not going to keep me on edge and, you know, make adrenaline pump, because that's not going to help. And then my eyes get sleepy and I just close the pad and pass out. But before I do that, I say, okay, tomorrow, I want to see something good. I want to see something positive. I want to see something uplifting. I use words like that to myself. Like tomorrow, I am going to see democracy holding. I want to see proof of democracy holding. That's one of my favorite things these days, for obvious reasons here in the States. And when you hear the raindrops, I listen to rain on YouTube with subliminal messages. So what do I want to see? I want to see democracy holding. I want to see proof of justice. And every day I get answered. I see that almost immediately. We won another case. We saved that. And yes, there's a lot of other bad shit going on, but you are not made for that. If it's not happening in your environment, it's not for you. Try to pull yourself back to where you're at. Your only point of power is where you're sitting right now, or laying in your case. So if you're out there thinking about the world at large, it's not going to do anything. You can't control it. It's not yours to control. It's not yours to create. Everybody's taken their own vibration and doing something with it. They've got their own little stream, and that can shift. And yours is also your own little stream, and that can shift. But it takes conscious awareness of that and conscious thought. You have to direct your focus. So if you're thinking about crap, well, you're attracting crappy thoughts. But if you spend a few minutes thinking about the beautiful things in your mind, in your life, even just things you've seen in videos or movies, if they make you smile, you're on the right track. You cannot go from despair to joy. That's unnatural. It's false. Don't even try. But you can go from despair to depression, which is actually a little step up, or you can go from depression to anger, which is a good step up. Is anger good? Sometimes, yes, it's the proper response to that current stimuli. That's fine. Staying angry and not allowing yourself to move up the emotional scale, that's a problem. So you have to look at yourself. What do you like to see? like tomorrow, don't think about what's possible to see. Think about what you want to see. If you want the impossible to become possible, you keep looking at only things you believe are possible, then that's all that is. That's all that's possible. You need to get less limited in your vision and leave it to the universe. Leave some open-ended requests there. Yeah, you know, there's a wonderful website. Let me recommend it to you. Minds in Unison. They have some sound stuff that's 8 hours long and all different kinds of subliminal programming for, oh, he's got an hour one for motivation to get up and do things. Believe me, the 45-minute mark, suddenly you're getting up and doing things. He's got something for procrastination, for positive thinking, relaxing, all kinds of, just look at their videos. You will find something with a background of, he's got so many different kinds. So any kind of stimuli that you prefer to help you rest, he's got long lists. He really has devoted his life to helping humanity. And I think it's wonderful. I put that on while I'm playing my games to fall asleep. So I'm getting programming while I'm sitting there, because you don't consciously think it. You just have that rain sound in the background. So my dear, I'm going to send you off with love. I will return to this. That did not come out the way I was hoping or planned, which is really weird. I have not had this problem before. There's a first time for everything. So look, I love you guys. Reach for the better feeling thought. Keep reaching for a better feeling thought until you feel relief. You're not trying to feel hysterically happy. You're just trying to feel relief from the tension that you've been feeling, or the anxiety or the fears. Reach for the better feeling thought. That's where your magic begins. Okay? Of a new, oh, good, good. Anything that makes you feel happy and good is something you should stick with. Hey, when I get desperate and when I see that I've spent too much time looking at headlines and I start to feel it, I feel it really fast now, like really fast. I go and watch some silly animal video. I will look at signs that are hilarious. I'll do just something lighthearted that is not, it doesn't bring you back to what might be happening in the real world. It's all real, and it starts all here. Everybody's reality begins up here. So use it, use your brain. Well, we're going to finish this tomorrow because it is 6:30, and I'm going to have to eat a little something so I can go to sleep at a reasonable hour. But I love you too, and thank you so much for hanging out with me and giving me an excuse to preach the same shit over and over again. Everybody needs to hear it, and although it's not as delicately put as I used to when it was a completely G-rated show, I think at my age I have earned the right to cuss now and then. Sweet dreams and aloha. Until next time, I will go look at your pictures, Maui, now.